When times were tough, we were thinking about the other side. And now I know how it really feels to be alive. Cause I was so cold. Now we're living in another time. Cause I was so cold. All I had to do was free my mind.
We pull up on a beautiful morning at the historic Mapua Wharf, just outside Nelson. We're here to check out Golden Bear Brewing Company, run by Californian expat Jim Matranga.
Golden Bear Brewing Company, Mapua, Nelson.
Yeah. Fantastic day.
Amazing. Some of the best we've had so far. So pretty much now it's time to see what goes on inside this pretty flash-looking brewery. It's looking pretty slick. We head inside. Go look, eh? Hello, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Kelly Ryan.
Hello, Jim Matranga.
Nice to meet you.
Nicholas. Hi there. How are you? I'm all right.
This isn't a Kiwi accent I'm picking up. Whereabouts are you originally from, Jim?
I'm from LA.
Nice.
Santa Monica, to be exact.
Cool, cool. And how'd you find your way over here running a brewery? What was your story?
I didn't like the beer here when I came here in '94. I just couldn't find any good beer.
Yeah.
But we decided right then, this place is clean and beautiful and empty, and they need beer. So I thought I'd go home and learn how to make beer. So I made beer for 10 years in the garage of a friend. And then I moved here in 2005. We have a restaurant here, and I miss some Mexican food. And so we make it here. And people come from all over the place just to have the tacos. And so if we didn't have the restaurant, it wouldn't have been very easy to get off the ground, because it took a long time for people to know about the beer.
In terms of beer styles, what sort of stuff are you doing, Jim? Are you doing something a little bit different than the norm? Are you playing around with all sorts?
I do a lot of big IPAs.
Nice.
Because that's what we drink at home. And now I do a lot of really, I'm trying to discover how to make really refined lagers, because they're harder to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also make these homebrew kits now. December 8th, I brewed the first one, and they were all gone by the end of the month, and I was shocked. I tested it in these big white plastic jugs. But that day, I discovered that the homebrewing thing was really, enthusiastic here. It's a little early to get any feedback yet, but I'm sure someone's going to walk in with a beer one of these days and say, "Hey, I made this. It's awful," or "It's great."
So I suppose really we should go and have a look at the brew kit as well and check that out. If
Pretty
that's
nice
cool.
and shiny from here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably not as clean as it looks once you get closer. I just brewed 2 days here.
This is where it all happens.
Yep. This is CLE Brew Systems pride and joy. He made this for me like the Cadillac of all the breweries he's ever made. Cool. And it's got lots of good stuff on it, like a window.
Yeah.
My background is in building interiors, and I was working for, rich architects in LA. I just built it the way I always kind of dreamed it should be. And then Chris started showing up with all this equipment. I just learned on this thing. I'm barely scratching the surface, to tell you the truth. It's water jacketed, so you can run the hot liquor in the jacket to do changes in temperature in the mash. You just turn the rakes on and swirl it around and put some hot water. I find about 10 degrees hotter than you want it. It'll make it go up in about 20 minutes, between 20 and 25 minutes. I'm still on a learning curve with using this thing.
Jim experiments with lots of different beer styles, from big hoppy West Coast US style IPAs through to wheat beers and experimentation with fruit.
Well, we've really got to hit the road, Jim. It's been amazing seeing your brewery and seeing what you've done here. We've got another 4 to see today, so we've got to take off. But yeah, absolutely. But keep doing what you're doing. Keep making those big IPAs that Luke and I are pretty fond of. And we'll maybe see you next time.
Thanks a lot.
It's been a pleasure.
Very good.
Cheers, Jim.
Thanks, Luke.
Yeah, we'll catch you later.
Very good.
With some serious brewery envy after checking out Jim's awesome brew kit, we hit the road and head for Richmond and Nelson. We're off to catch up with former Liverpudlian, the Sprig Fern head brewer and owner, Tracy Banner. These guys have their own pubs sprinkled around the region, which are definitely worth a visit.
Tell us a bit about
your background in brewing and how you got to this point today.
For me, I've been 27 years in the brewing industry. I'm so passionate. I love what I do. I live and breathe. I do spring out of bed in the morning. So I got into brewing in 1983. 94, I came over with my husband into New Zealand. I was so passionate, as I say, and I wanted to stay in the industry. And so I had a year with Lion Nathan in Auckland, Newmarket there, and then moved down to Nelson, good old sunny Nelson, and spent a good 10 years with Max Brewery, and then moved down to Dunedin and ran Spates. So I was the first female brewery manager and head brewer of Spates. And then, but it was a family decision. We wanted to come back to Nelson.
Tracy and her team work on a huge range of beers. Dark lagers, strong lagers, pilsners, doppelbocks, wheat beers, bitters, Scotch ales, pale ales, IPAs and porters. Not to mention some great ciders too. They certainly keep themselves and the brewery as busy as possible. As if running a brewery with this large a range isn't enough work, Tracy can also be seen behind the bar at their pubs as well.
I think we should give that champion lager Pilsner a go, the Tasman Lager.
It looks like there's a few champions up there, but I think that would be the best one to start with.
Yeah, Tasman Lager. Okay.
Yes,
Okay, gents. So 6.5% strong lager. It's a multi-award winning. We've won a lot of awards with this beer. More recently, I know it was the Nelson A&P show, but they had a beer awards. Quite a number of the local breweries entered. This beer won the champion lager, but it also took out the supreme champion of all the champion. So it was the supreme champion.
Congratulations, well done.
Absolutely. That's right. So is that obviously some New Zealand hops, some Nelson Sauvin, or maybe some Riwaka, or?
They're all Nelson hops, and we've got 5 hops in there. But the 2 that are dominating, you've hit the nail on the head. So you've got the Riwaka, you've got Nelson Sauvin, and there's also some Motueka in there as well. So 3 really, really good aromatic hops.
So this is a taste of Nelson then?
It is, yeah. Shall we stay with 6.5% and we'll try the Scotch ale? Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
Needs to obviously be slightly warmer than this. It's going to be coming through about 3 degrees. This style is really all about showcasing the malts. The Tasman Lager is really showcasing the hops. Scotch Ale showcasing the malts. There's 6 malts in this beer, and it does need to warm in the glass. And we've got a smoked malt in there, and you'll only get that smokiness coming out as that temperature lifts.
Nice little hint of chocolate there on the nose. More milk chocolate than dark chocolate, which is good. It's cool as well compared to, say, for example, some of the stout and porter styles we've tried here and there. It doesn't have that sort of dry dustiness that coats the tongue, like, obviously the Scotch ale style is about that slightly more sweet character, which comes through perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh, this is supremely well made. Anyway, we should shoot.
Oh, thanks, gents.
Thanks
Thanks for taking the time to come and catch us. It's been brilliant.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well done on your beers. You're doing a sensational job.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank
We head back to Stoke, just out of Nelson City, on our way to catch up with Dick Tout, owner and brewer of one of New Zealand's smallest commercial breweries, Lighthouse Brewery. With just a 200 litre brew length, it might be little, but the beers are anything but. Let's head in and check it out.
Grab a seat. Thank you. You like the lighthouse?
That's the Lighthouse.
That is the lighthouse.
So tell us about the Lighthouse. Where's that? That's
out on the Boulder Beach. It's the second oldest lighthouse in New Zealand, and it's unique the fact that it's 8-sided, and it's a kit set. It's a metal one. It's all bolted together all the way up. Yeah. So there was, to name the brewery, I wanted to pick something that was different and not my name on it. If I wanted to sell it as a business that didn't have to change names, it could still stay as the Lighthouse Brewery. So. And loving boats and the sea, it was an obvious choice, really.
What's your sort of road into brewing, Dick? I mean, did you start as a home brewer? Or?
I'm actually a motor mechanic by trade, and most of those guys always like having a few beers. And when you're an apprenticeship and you weren't earning a heck of a lot of money, drinking was quite expensive. So I started making my own. The first 2 or 3 batches worked out really good, and then after that they seemed to deteriorate a bit. And my wife went to the library and got a book out on brewing, and I saw this word sterilisation. What the hell is that? So after we discovered that, things really started to improve. It does, yeah. So it was a real good learning curve, and then eventually got into selling home brew kits. I was one of the first in Nelson to sell home brew kits on my forecourt, my service station. You couldn't buy oil filters or oil packs or fan belts, but geez, could I tuck you into a good home brew kit? Yeah, so that's how it all started, and then got out of the motor trade and bought the wee shop round the corner, and it was basically home brew.
In terms of getting your beer out there, is it a lot of sort of obviously flagon sales and stuff, or is it?
Yeah, I find being so small, it's a hard niche to get into, and being a one-man band, I'm not out there promoting my product. I don't do very much advertising because I don't see it as a business. It doesn't make money. It's a hobby thing. It's a lifestyle, and it's something I love doing it. All right, guys, we're enough talking. I think we better sample a cold one, shall we? Shall we start with a Pilsner?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Done.
Dick's beers include Summer Breeze, a Sassy Pilsner, Cheeky Little Lager, Dick's Dark, and a malt-rich Victory Ale.
Foam's great.
Yeah.
Good
I
lacing.
was going to say it's just sticking there and sticking there and sticking there. It's not not like these a lot of the sort of bigger commercial beers that they just fall down quickly. Bit of that, it's not moving at all. Great stuff.
And using good malt.
Yeah. So nice, good temperature as well.
I've been doing beer and food, and with the Pilsner you have Nelson scallops, of course, cooked with a little bit of garlic butter. Eat the scallop and then taste that. And about 30 seconds later you get this tingling in your throat. It's bloody beautiful. Really is. It's pan-fried fish or a bit of chicken, but the scallop is really number one. Well, the next one we'll move on to is Cheeky Little Lager. As I say, it's the same grain recipe, just totally different hops. Well, the hops in that one is Stickleback and Hallertau Aroma. And I've cut back on the Stickleback quite a bit because the bitter rating was about 14.6, which was quite strong.
I get a really fruity, nearly jammy note. It's really nice. Like berries.
I reckon it brings the malt. The malt is more dominant in this beer. It's got a real sort of biscuity kind of biscuity sort of malt.
Shrewsbury.
On top.
I get Shrewsbury.
Yeah, Shrewsbury. Yeah.
The 200 the 150 litres is only about 450 grams of hops all up. Yeah. Well, this is the Summer Breeze one. Once again, it's the lager style, but it has the most hops of any of my beers. This one's the dark ale. This has the least amount of hops of any of my beers. Gone for the nice malty flavour, 4.5%, and it's good cooking product.
What's a good, good meal to go with this?
I like it with my mince. I think it's probably the easiest one to use, but if you've got a barbecue, you've got your peppered or garlic steak, you can actually pour a little bit over it while you're cooking it. Yeah, just a little bit, and of course you don't waste the rest. It goes lubricant.
Absolutely. For the barbecue. I'd imagine it going quite well with a bit of sort of smoked meat or something like that, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm just getting a little wisp of that in the finish.
Yum.
Well, Dick, thanks very much for your time and tasting through all the beers and giving us a bit of, sharing a bit of your passion with us and your stories. And we've really got to hit the road as much as we'd love to sit here and have a few more beers with you.
So good to catch up, Luke. All the very best. Enjoy the rest of your Tiki tours in Nelson. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
And if you're ever back in Nelson, you know where to come, mate. Excellent. Thanks, guys. Cheers.